If your favorite character is not yet in My Hero Ultra Impact, well, get ready, because your favorite character will eventually come to the game in the future, because I now have the full list of playable and potential future playable characters for My Hero Ultra Impact. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Before we go ahead and get started though, make sure you guys go down there, click that red subscribe button, make sure it says subscribe, click that bell, turn on all notifications, drop a like, and comment who do you hope to see and what is the 2 pairs of characters that you would like to see come to the game. So as I mentioned in a previous video, actually, if you guys missed it yesterday, you can check it out, link in the description down below. I went over a few characters whose IDs are in the game and actually have names associated with those IDs that will eventually turn into character IDs for playable versions of those units. And there are quite a few of them. However, I went back through all the assets, and this is kind of an update to this previous video. There is a lot more than anticipated. There's a lot more there. So if you guys want to check out the subreddit, link in the description down below, by the way. So this is my breakdown of the full list of playable and future playable characters using playable character IDs that are currently available in the game. So this is as of 3/29, as of recently. So this is the full list of playable characters IDs in the game. I've included a legend that shows the IDs and stuff like that. So we have a formatting legend to kind of give you guys a little bit of an insight. Again, this is linked in the description down below, by the way. So it's going to give you unknown character IDs, known IDs with names, but has no playable units, and obtainable units that are currently available in the game. So it is unknown when we will receive these characters. Just get that clear. We don't know anything. We don't know when these characters are going to come at any point in given time in the game. It could be tomorrow. It could be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. Don't really know, but they will eventually. They do have plans because of the way they sorted through these IDs. They do have plans for these characters at some point. So the ID range, you know, we can see here, the last ID range is 1236 XXX. So like 1236 001 002 0010, stuff like that, right? So the ID range can go all the way up to 1899. Well, technically these last 3 digits can be 999 as well. But for playable characters, that's how far these will go up to, because at least at the current time that I'm aware of and able to go through all this, at the current time, units that start with 900 or 999 or any variation of the 900s are enemy bosses, enemy characters, enemy like minions and stuff like that, that aren't playable, that aren't going to be obtainable, like the Tokiyami Rage mode, overhaul forms, gang orca minions, stuff like that. So this ID range specifically seems to be, at least far as I can tell, seems to be only for the minions, enemies, bosses that aren't going to be obtainable at any point in the given future. However, that doesn't mean they can't make playable versions, because we have a large range of playable IDs for characters. So they definitely could make those characters playable at some point, but at least those IDs I'm not including in this, because it seems those are just boss IDs within that range. So we're going from like the base Deku one all the way up to like 18999, which we don't go that far. We actually only go up to 236 right now. So that's all we know. So this is kind of breaking down what this ID looks like and how it, you know, kind of operates. The XXX part of the ID value refers to the unit number within that specific character. So we're going to use Vigilante Deku as an example. This is his character ID 1101015, which the 015 in the ID means he's like the 15th iteration of the Deku unit. So that's number 15 of Deku. And then in the unit ID, you see 1101. The master data character, the character master data, the character itself, its ID is 101 for Deku. I don't know what the 1 is specifically. I think they just added a 1 just to make the ID a little longer. I honestly don't know why the 1 is there. I can't really figure that out. But it does correlate to the master character ID and as well as the iteration of that character. That's how this like long 7-digit number correlates to it. Also, I figured out that we have 47 unique playable different characters, 38 unique known characters that are without playable versions, and then 51 unique IDs of unknown characters. So we have 136 unique playable characters so far, that's at least in terms of IDs so far. So bold italic, the name and ID is going to be a known character with its name, but no playable unit, no formatting is unobtainable. And then obviously italic with a question mark is unknown character name. So if we kind of scroll here, we have Deku, Bakugo. So as you can see, you can kind of see like the character master ID format. We have 101 Deku, 102 Bakugo, 103, and then the ID of the actual playable unit kind of formulates into the 7-digit ID, right? So as again, like, you know, Vigilante Deku is number 15. This is going to be 0015. The R Deku 001, 002, so on and so forth, right? So here we have the first known character without a playable unit so far in the game, and that is Yuga Aoyama. So that is going to be Belly Button Laser Man, you know, Belly Button Laser. So he does have assets in terms of like story assets that pop up like in various different places in terms of like doing events or story mode or whatever. So the story event, so I'm going to kind of bring this in here real quick. The actual story characters, like this is Kami's right here, right? The actual asset starts with a character ID. So 212, that's Kami's character ID, which these assets are like story cut-ins to where you see them in events, or like when they're talking, they have like different facial expressions that kind of pop up. You can kind of see like the different facial expressions that they have. But this is for Kami. So her ID is right here in the beginning at 212. And obviously they have like the other assets here to kind of, you know, distinguish the different ones upon each other, right? So then we have her with a hat, and then we have her without the hat, right? So again, it's all like distinguished by the ID. So 219 is going to be Power Loader, if you can't tell. 220 is going to be Mei Hatsume, and again, we have different versions. The different versions of these cut-ins, like Mei Hatsume without the code on here, with the code on here, that doesn't determine whether or not the unit is going to have that. That's just different sprites, right? They're just literal sprites in the game. So again, we have like, again, these sprites is where I'm getting this information from. These sprites specifically, knowing that this is like the 212 is Kami, so on and so forth, right? So Aoyama is going to be 112 in terms of ID range. So that's kind of give you the point. So we have Aoyama coming. We have Shoji and Ojiro. Obviously, like all of 1A are in here at least. We have Hagakure. Hagakure, I'd love to see Hagakure in this game. So she's going to be 118. We have Sato, Koda, 120 for Koda here. We have Ibara, Juzo. So we have like some 1B characters here. Obviously, all of these are all missing 1B characters that aren't yet in the game in terms of like cut-ins, story, whatever the case, enemies, or even that. So those characters aren't yet there. So they'll probably put them in at some point. And eventually all of like the 1B characters. And then we have like Pony down here, Kinoka. We have Shishida and stuff like that, right? So all of these like 1B kind of starts at Monoma and then ends around, I think here, maybe, or it ends here. So this is like all of 1B, all the way up here. This is all of 1A, right? So kind of, you can kind of see a pattern. They're actually formulating all the characters around like their classes, where they're supposed to be with the other, you know, kind of you like characters of like the set, I guess, if you want to say it like that. So there's that. Again, we know about Pony, we know about Kinoko because of their plus ultra cut-ins and stuff like that. We don't know who this one is. We don't know who this one's going to be. We have Shinzo, Present Mike. So here we're going to start having probably teachers that are pro heroes. So Present Mike obviously is a teacher. Aizawa, excuse me. Midnight. We also have Principal Nezu in here at 151 ID range. So that's going to be interesting. Principal Nezu. I can't wait to see that in the game. We also have Vlad King, you know, 1B's teacher as well, who's here. Then we have Kamui Woods after Mount Lady. So we'll expect him to get a unit hopefully at some point. We have a couple others, which I expect these two to be like the other part of the team with Mount Lady and Kamui, right? So those two will be here. We have Endeavor. Again, I think it's up to Vlad at least. So these right here seem to be pro hero teachers at the schools, right? So we could see that. We could also see some teachers in later IDs, because I think these, again, like I mentioned, are just teachers that are in like UA High and stuff like that, related to the students and whatnot. So for other teachers like on outside schools, we definitely could see that, like Miss Joke and stuff like that. We could see them at some point, but don't really know right now. So we have Best Genist here, a huge gap of ID ranges for other pro heroes, it seems. So at least at the start of Mount Lady, kind of going down all the way like to Tomura. So this whole range here seems to be about like pro heroes that also I think were mentors for like, you know, the where they went to go do stuff with the pro heroes. I can't remember. I can't, so off the top of my head, I can't remember. But you know what I'm talking about, like where the students went to go do stuff with the pro heroes and do all that stuff, right? So that seems like to be what this kind of section is for, because we also have pro heroes later down with Mirako, so very interesting. But we also have Mandalay here, one of the Pussycats, so we should have these ones fill out the rest of them as well. So we should have the whole Pussycat gang. We have Edshot in here as well. Gang Orca we already went over. We have Ryukyu. I don't know who this one could be. I had a guess and I lost it at this point, but you might be able to know down in the comments. Let me know who you think some of these characters are going to be like within this range here. Obviously, I think these are going to be like the Pussycats, right? So we have Stain. There are obviously some League of Villain characters that are missing. So down here with Muscular, shout outs to Bakuman, by the way, from the Discord. I think one of these is Moonfish. Please give me Moonfish. And some of the other ones I can't. Oh, Spinner as well. I think Spinner might be actually right here. That would actually make sense because he's kind of like one of the originals, right? So Spinner probably right here. Moonfish is probably one of these, and then so on and so forth. So this seems to be all of the League of Villain characters here, all the mainline League of Villain characters in the end and stuff like that so far. Right here, so this is all right here. This is all the Hasaikai. So we do have an Eri, by the way, who potentially will get a playable unit. I don't know if they will. I am maybe an R character for Eri just to have her in the game. I would feel so bad attacking Eri in the game, man. She doesn't do anything. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Deku Eri dual unit or something. Who knows? Deku comes in and just beats the crap out of you. But again, this is like all the Hasaikai members down here. So we have Rappa and stuff like that. We already went over some of these, but we have another kind of missing section here that is probably other Hasaikai members. She Hasaikai, right? So then we have this one right here. And I think this is one other Hasaikai, or this could be just some random different one that I'm not quite sure about. But then we have also La Brava, definitely. I mean, Gentle Criminal, guaranteed to eventually get a La Brava unit, I would imagine. Definitely would be a good support unit, if anything, right? So then we have Inasa. Again, we went over this guy here, one of the other three Shiketsu High characters, Kami, Inasa, and Siji here. So these three are there. I don't know who these could be. We could see some other Shiketsu members in here as well. So we could see some of them. Or some of these could be some of the other like pro heroes, because we also have Mirako here. We have Power Loader, as I mentioned. I showed you guys earlier. We have Mei Hatsume down here as well in the playable character range. So these could be this could either be like maybe some pro heroes and then like some of the rest of the Shiketsu members. We also have Getten here. This is obviously I think like the commanders with Rey Destro from like his army or whatever it's called, right? So that's probably where that's from. We also have Curious, we have Skeptic and Trumpet, guaranteed. These characters are actually cut-ins in the story. So, and I think they're enemies actually. No, I think they're cut-ins only. But yeah, those IDs are there for Skeptic and Trumpet. We have Ending here for the other villain, Rey Destro. I can't remember who could be after Rey Destro, but we do have Ending. We also have Burnin, one of the other pro heroes that works with Endeavor, right? So definitely could be a mix of villains and pro heroes kind of like roughly in here, or at least the villains could probably go here and then these are pro heroes. And then to end it off, the final character that we know, this is where the ID range ends fully for playable characters at the given time. So this could go higher, but this is the last known ID range right now. And that's Tsukachi, right? Mispronounced that probably very hard, but you know, the police member that All Might knows, right? We all know who he is, right? So again, he is in here. He is one of the other characters. I would love to see him as a playable character, or at least something at some point. That'd be cool, right? Now, again, all of these are in the game. These are playable character ID ranges and such. We don't know when these characters are going to receive IDs. We have no idea when. That could be, again, a month from now, a year from now. It could be after 2-year anniversary for JP. Some of these get characters right. Don't actually know when this is going to happen, but it is known that some of these, or most of these characters, are going to get playable characters hopefully soon. And hopefully one of these is your favorite character, and hopefully one of these does get a playable character for you to actually, enjoy. But again, at some point at any given time in the game's life, hopefully all of them are at least guaranteed to be in the game with at least one playable unit at best. Now, again, these do use story cut-ins, so they could just have them as story for quite a while, and then, maybe they'll throw a playable unit here and there. They could do some free-to-play units with them, And also, that's another thing. I hope this didn't come across in my last video this way, but I didn't mean to make it sound like these were only going to be like summonable units. Obviously, some of these can definitely be free-to-play units as well. Like, they could introduce them as free-to-play units, they could introduce them as summonable units. So they could go either way with how they add them to the game for their first time, right? So it doesn't really determine, oh, it's their first character, so it's going to be summonable. No, it doesn't have to be summonable. It could definitely, like Gentle was a climax battle unit, so we could definitely have a climax battle like Red Destro you are. We could have a climax battle Kendo Rappa especially and stuff like that, right? So we can have multiple different characters of this introduced in a free-to-play way as well as a summonable way as well. So I don't want to make it sound like these are only going to be added, if they're going to be summonable. Yeah, no. That's not how that's going to go. But if you want to see this full list, I will update this list whenever we see newer characters added to the list that we don't have currently. And I will update the list, like if we ever see like any of these like question mark ones, if we ever know like ID ranges for some of these, then I will go back and fill this in and, keep you guys up to date. That way we know, hey, these characters are being added. That way we kind of know where their slots are. We kind of know where they're filling in at, where characters are going to be, at least in their ID ranges and whatnot, to kind of figure out where in the list they go. But this is quite a long list. This is what I say, 136 unique playable character IDs, 136 unique characters so far total. That is including these, by the way. This whole entire list is what I'm talking about. But there are a total of 38 unique characters without playable versions, and there are 51 currently that are unknown entirely of who they are. So we don't know like stuff like this, right? These are completely unknown. So 51 of these, and then when I say 38 of those, and then 47 playable. So again, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are down in the comments down below. I just wanted to kind of give you an update to this video because I did find all the rest of them, and I wanted to give you guys an update to see all the characters that are currently in the game, at least in some shape or form, and the characters that are not there at all. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down in the comments down below. Let me know who you are excited to see at some point in the game, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day.